What's going on YouTube? American Void here, bringing you guys kind of a unique video today. Gonna bring you the Canik TP9 Elite SC versus the Sig P365. And the reason I'm doing this video is because everyone kind of does the Sig versus M&P Shield or the Hellcat, stuff like that, and you don't see it too many people or a lot out there about versus the Elite SC by Canik. So I'm gonna bring you guys the pros and cons of both and kind of give you the reasons why I switched. So be short and sweet, and hopefully this helps you out and educate you guys a little bit. So this was actually my first carry gun, the Canik TP9 Elite SC. Super good, reliable gun. Put about 400 rounds through it so far. Really reasonable on the price too. I got it for like $270 at the local gun shop, and he was actually going into business, unfortunately, so gave me a smoking deal and I couldn't pass it up. I just got my conceal and carry about 6 months ago, so a little bit new to it. Not new to the gun world so much, but new to the concealed carry now that I live in a friendly county, if I may say. So anyway, this gun is actually awesome. I've enjoyed carrying it for, like I said, the last 5 months or so before I got the Sig. Like the front slide serrations, nice little rail on the bottom there for a light. Loaded chamber indicator, striker status there on the back. Try not to muzzle myself, but loaded chamber indicator there on the top, which I really like. I love the trigger on this thing. The double action trigger is really cool. Before, I didn't say this before, but they are both unloaded. Magazine's unloaded. Not going to show you, but this thing has a nice grip on it for a good purchase. Ambidextrous slide stop, which I like on both sides. Room here on the top for a red dot. So really enjoyed this gun. It's made out of turkey. Like I said, very reasonable. Plenty of room in there, and the trigger guard for gloves. And so that's kind of the rundown on the Elite SC. Like I said, reasonable gun, very affordable, actually not too bulky. Got the 12 round magazine here unloaded. You can kind of see it has a little fin on the bottom there for, I have some pretty big hands, so it allows me to get a pretty good purchase. And then it also comes with 15 round magazine, which kind of gives you a little bit more there on the bottom. So this gun has been phenomenal so far. Like I said, 400 rounds, done really well. And I've heard so many things about the Sig, so I'll kind of transfer over to the Sig. You guys have seen tons of videos on this thing. I don't have to really go through all the pros and cons because you can look at any other video. I'm just kind of doing a versus kind of a comparison here. To kind of, you guys can see them side by side. So you guys know all the functions of the Sig. This thing is super tiny. I got the 12 round magazine here versus the 12 round magazine here in the Canik. So you guys can kind of see, still can get a great purchase on this thing. Has a good trigger from the factory. Slide serrations all the way across, or at least not all the way across, just in the front and the rear. Has great sights on it. You can see them great at night. I've actually practiced clearing my house with it, so these ones do not have the night sights. The Sig does. It doesn't have a loaded chamber indicator, but they do give you a little slot there on the top so you can't see, which I really like. I always keep on the chamber, so I just like to have that reassurance. Both those guns have it, but I mean, you can kind of see. I wanted to show you guys these things next to each other. So I don't have all the heights or anything like that, all the measurements, and you guys can look them up if you really want. But I'll do 12 round magazine versus 12 round magazine, keep it simple. They're pretty much the same height, but then you can kind of see I'm going to go end to end here. Just kind of roughly measurement there. There's the length of the, I guess, barrel and full slide there, and then from that angle you can kind of see just the difference of the size and just the width of them. So obviously that Sig is so much smaller, and I gotta say, everything that they've said about the Sig, I've only put about 100 rounds through this thing. I just got it about 3-4 weeks ago. Been carrying it. Got the holster here. I'm not endorsed by them at all. They don't send me any of this stuff. I purchased them on my own, but I've loved carrying the holster. From Holster, got the matching magazine carrier here with an extra 12 round mag. Just got this JM4 tactical holster, and this thing is awesome. I love this thing. It's magnetic. You guys can look online at all the reviews. I saw them on Facebook is where I kind of initially saw them. And something that I've kind of learned over carrying the past 6 months or so is there's so many different holsters you can have. So I've got a couple of other holsters for this thing. I got the factory one that it came with. and then obviously there's 1,000,001 holsters you can get for the Sig. So like I said, transferred over the Sig, kind of put them next to each other. You guys saw all the sizes next to each other. There's another good shot from the top. You guys can just really see, you know, I would say just looking at it naked eye, the Canik is probably an inch and a quarter wide, whereas the Sig's maybe 5/8, 3/4, you know, maybe a full inch, something like that. It's small, and it's so much nicer to carry. I'm not really a huge guy, not really, I guess you could call obese, fat, whatever you want to call it. So this thing has been so much nicer to carry. Just is so much flush. It's so much lighter, even with the mag carrier. It's been great. So the reason I switched over, this thing was a little bit bulky, a little bit heavy, especially with the 15 rounder in it. I like having the capacity. Even though I lost 3 rounds going to the Sig, it's worth it to me. Just the size and the concealability of it, to be able to ankle holster it, appendix, 3, 4 o'clock, whatever it may be. I'm looking at getting maybe one of those 511 shirts that has the holster inside for when I dress up. But the reasons that I switched over, nothing against the Canik whatsoever. This thing shoots phenomenally, it's reliable, has tons of features, and comes with a bunch in the box. You guys can look at the unboxing on other videos online. But it comes with a ton of stuff, so nothing against the Canik. I wanted something more concealable with similar amount of capacity, and this Sig definitely delivers that. So what I did with the Canik is I have the 15 round mag in it, got the 12 round mag as a spare, got the O light for it, which this thing is phenomenal. It just fits super flush. Don't want to flash you there, but this thing is phenomenal. The O light, PL2 Mini Valkyrie. You can kind of see the name there. I got it for like 89 bucks online, and this is my bedside gun now. So even though it is a subcompact fence gun, but for when I had it as my carry gun, it did really well. But the Sig P365 is a no-brainer. You know, the hype, I guess you could say, is real about this thing. It's small, it's thin, it has 12 round. You can get 15 round mags for it. I don't really like the 15 round mag. I don't like how the butt end of it doesn't come around. It just kind of looks goofy, and it's obviously less concealable with 15, even though you have more capacity. But I'll stick with the 12. Love the holsters. You can get a lot more holsters for the Sig P365. Not as many as you kind of have to use some universal ones for the Canik. But so I carry this in my holster. Got the mag carrier with it every single day. I got a Smith & Wesson M&P pocket knife with me all the time. I like the pen lights. I love this O light that I got for the Canik. They have all the different O lights out there for everyday carry. I like the pen lights because they're easy to conceal. Even though they don't have as many lumens, they're just nice and handy and small. So that's kind of my everyday carry. I use the 365 D-Crown jacketed hollow points. I carry that in all my home defense and my everyday carry guns. I've obviously put a couple rounds through it, or 20 or 30 rounds through it at the range. So those are phenomenal. If you guys don't use already, I would recommend them. But that's kind of the overview. If you guys have any other questions about the Canik, the P365, pros and cons, quick recap. The Canik is a phenomenal gun. Love the Sig P365. The reason I transferred over to the Sig, it's smaller, has similar capacity, even though I can't get the 15 round. Similar capacity, performs phenomenally. Haven't had any mouth functions with it yet, but the concealability is the reason I transferred over. But that's kind of an overview. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be happy to answer them for you in the comments. Get any answers for you that I may have. But that's the Canik TP9 Elite SC versus the Sig P365. Thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to hit subscribe.